They might throw in an educated guess, but they don't know. They might be basing their answer on what they read online, the history of technology, maybe on references in books, movies, or TV shows. Some might have a deep awareness of what's possible now with emerging technologies, and may offer a good guess as to what's ahead. But it will always fall short, as technological developments and ramifications are many, and we're still in the early days of exploring them. Mark Zuckerberg mentioned the word metaverse over 80 times in his Facebook Connect introduction speech on October 28, 2021. That one talk sparked a frenzy of discussion by the financial press around the definition of the metaverse. For those working with emerging tech and blockchain communities, this public acknowledgement of the topic's importance felt like validation of their vision and years of work, ourselves included. Mainstream excitement was finally building around this technological vision of the future. Even though the biggest tech companies, like Apple, Snap, Niantic, and Alphabet, had been investing billions in creating it, the sparkling hype generated by this speech created the sensation that the metaverse seemingly matured overnight and finally seemed within reach, even if many weren't thrilled about Facebook taking public ownership of the word meta. Yet still, that moment marked only one inflection point in an uncharted new path ahead. But that was just Meta's vision of the metaverse. Other companies joined in the conversation with their particular take on the next wave of computing. But how can businesses prepare for it if it isn't consensually defined? How can we understand the opportunities and threats we will face? Some say that hindsight is 20/20. It feels like we all need some 20/20 foresight during this time of transition. Think of it like the internet. Could you have explained it to a modern-day Rip Van Winkle, the fictional legend who slept for 20 years and awoke to find his world had changed? It's hard to do in layman's terms, unless you start talking about how you would use it and how it could help in your day-to-day life. Maybe 2 decades ago, you'd start by describing the kind of access and benefits email and texting gives you, or all the information you were able to find in less than a second. That said, who could have predicted how it birthed smartphones? Game worlds where players are constantly connected and interacting. What about the cloud and social media? Or even the current debates around privacy and truth? This lack of understanding of a game-shifting technology's impact isn't new. It's happened several times, and looking back to the 1990s, it also happened with the internet. The leading TV morning show in the United States during 1994 was The Today Show. On one of the episodes, Bryant Gumbel, one of the hosts, asked, "What is the internet anyway?" His co-host then requests from the off-camera producer, "Allison, can you explain what the internet is?" The answer is bungled as they try to name the @ symbol, calling it about or around, and talk about how it's a massive computer network. This TV moment has gone viral multiple times, as some generations seem to laugh at people being awkward in front of new technology. It's almost an "okay, boomer" meme in a TV clip. The metaverse is a similar shift, only this time we're taking the internet, bringing another dimension to it, and setting it free in and on our physical world. Through several channels, we'll be living with digital and physical and sometimes hybrid elements simultaneously. It's almost impossible today to understand the full extent of this shift. We can start by identifying how technologies will interweave to create it. Also, now that we've witnessed the negative impact of social media, we need to determine how to mitigate the risks and challenges of bringing more technology to our businesses and to our lives. For instance, if we want to go from digital screens to digital worlds that we are able to explore, then we'll need to consider moving from formats like text, images, and video into 3-dimensional formats. It makes sense to use virtual reality, or VR, and augmented reality, or AR, technologies to view the metaverse, but not everyone is familiar with or comfortable using them yet. And what needs to happen with the current mobile internet access so it grants users a metaverse experience? It's not smooth sailing to begin.